Just want you guys to know that I am recording. Hi. I'm only seeing some of you. Some of you don't have your videos on. It's awesome because I see your names all the time through social media. And it's so, oh, but I know you, Cassania. And it's so awesome to see you guys like in person and see your faces. Lilia, have I seen you before?
No, I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm friends with Hannah Hinshaw.
Oh, Hannah. I love Hannah. She's
So,
doing,
go ahead.
she's doing great stuff right now.
I know she is. I this year have decided to try and pursue this, and so she sent me this. She's like, "Do this. She's amazing." And so
I love her. I'm so glad. Welcome from Portland. Hi, Iris. How are you? There's a bunch of people that are not coming on, but that's okay because I told them that if they couldn't show their faces, that it was all right. Some people have work and whatnot, but I'm just glad everybody could be here. I just want to offer this to you guys. Just as like a really impromptu opportunity to ask any questions that you guys have. I'm going to give you some general information. First, I'm going to kind of get a lay of the land on where everybody is in their career, like what levels you guys are at and what you're doing. So that way I can kind of, guide the session based on, helping everybody through it instead of just towards one person. So, if you are not on video, when I call your name, if you guys could unmute yourself and just kind of give me a quick little, bio on who you are, where you're from. So I'm just asking, I just want to know who you are, where you're from, and what level you're at in your career. Like, where are you at? Are you just beginning? Have you been auditioning? Are you feeling stuck? All that stuff. So why don't we just start with you, Lilia?
Lily's fine too if you want to call me that. I am new. I've done my first ever thing the other week. I did a photo shoot for a dog insurance company. That was exciting, but yeah, brand new, auditioning for little things here and there, but in Portland it's mainly just commercials and little things, but I'm just beginning.
Okay, you're not too far from Vancouver though, and a lot is happening in Vancouver.
That's true. That is true. I haven't even looked into that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. Hallmark movies, all kinds of Lifetime movies and stuff always film in Vancouver.
Okay. Oh.
So that might be an option for you to go to. So you might want to think about that.
Yeah.
Iris, hello. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Sorry,
my my dryer and air is going, so it's really
no,
loud.
don't worry about it. I felt so bad because when I saw you the next day, I was like tested positive for COVID. So I probably should have told you that.
Oh no, I felt bad for you. I heard about that because I remember I watched your story and you said it was like a Tuesday. And I remember that I had seen you that Tuesday, but I felt horrible. And I couldn't even tell you were feeling sick or anything.
Oh man, no, usually my class is way more high energy. It was like really
really?
I was feeling crappy, but
I had COVID. So I had it like
I had no idea. And then I came home and I was like, God, I feel really crappy. And then the next day I went to the hospital and they were like, yeah, you have COVID. I was like, what?
Oh, but anyway, it's coming around in a new wave.
Right. So tell us where you're at, where you're from, like, where you live and where you're at in your career.
Okay. So I'm from the Valley of Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley. So I'd say Northridge, Winnetka area.
Okay.
I feel very stuck, as you put it.
Okay.
I've been going to several different acting studios since I was like a junior in high school. And I feel like I'm taking all these classes, but I'm not getting anywhere because I'm not auditioning because I feel like I don't have an agent or a resume or any of that to help me out. And self-taping, the idea of it is hard for me because I don't want to ask for a reader every time. And I guess I don't know the best way to go about the business of it.
Okay. Good. All right. You're going to
help me.
First of all, I don't think it was just by chance that you ended up walking into my studio.
I know. Something about it was so welcoming.
So bizarre because a lot of what I do is help actors on the business end because listen, we all have this dream, right? We have this desire inside of us that we want to, like, we want to do something in this world of acting. We want to be something. We want to experience what it feels like to either, you know, book a movie or have your own job or have your own TV show or just go down that journey. And there's, if you're at this place right now, especially if you guys are all here, then you must be at this place where you want to turn it from something that you just keep thinking about into something that you really want to pursue. And you can very easily in this industry, and trust me, I'm 52 and I've been in this business since I was 17. So I've been in this business a long time. I moved to LA from Chicago, and I started my acting journey in Chicago when I was 16 years old. And I was doing commercials and extra work and stand-in work in Chicago. Now, mind you, I knew I wanted to go to LA from the time I was 5 years old and be an actress, but it took a while. You're a kid, you know? So when I was in Chicago, I was gaining all that experience, taking acting classes and stuff. And when I turned 19, I moved to LA by myself, without my family, with nobody, because I wanted it. And so I know where you guys are at. And trust me, I've pursued my career. I've loved it. I've worked. I've been a series regular on jobs. I've booked movies. I've booked numerous commercials. I've worked like crazy. And I've been in the same position you've been in, where I've worked, and then I was stuck. And it's like, how do we just go from where we're at right now to the next level? And that could be from a beginner to somebody that's been doing it for a long time. And sometimes it just takes repositioning your frame of thought and maybe getting a little insight from somebody that's looking at the industry from a different perspective than you're looking at it, so that they can give you some advice that is outside of the emotional connection you have to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you're definitely in the right place. Trust me. So good. I'm glad you're here. Kasanya, hello again.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm so awesome. So tell everybody where you're from.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cassania. I'm from Savannah, Georgia, 21. And this is my second time in one of your pop-up classes.
Yes, it is. So what have you done since? Have you been doing anything or just been reading? And
I haven't done anything since, just reading. I went over the breakdown of the what was the form you sent us through email?
The breaking down of the material?
Yeah, I did that, but I haven't done any like jobs or anything. I didn't really have any questions prepared last time I came in here. So when I saw that you put it up, I was like, okay, I got some questions to ask her this time. So
good. Because, you know, it's like we can all just talk, but it's like I want to really help you guys with the specific questions you have. So Cindy Gill, can you unmute yourself? If you can come on, you guys can. It's great. If not, could you just unmute yourself and tell me where you're from and all that good stuff?
Sure. I apologize. For some reason, my camera isn't wanting to work, and rather than try to run around, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm up here in Tacoma, Washington, just outside of Seattle.
Okay.
And I have zero anything. I've been following along, and when you offered up the free webinar, I thought, you know, what do I got to lose? And then, of course, you know, all day today, it's like, do I really want to do this? Don't I do it? So basically, it's, you know, the hard step is the first step. So that's kind of what this is. I'm older, early 60s. And I did drama all through junior high and high school. And then I got away from it. Life got in the way. And it's kind of, I don't know if it's a bucket list, if I got the chops to go with it, but I figured if nothing else, I'd like to hear what you had to say, and maybe, you know. So obviously do what you can for these people who are actually trying harder. But right now, I think I'm just kind of at collecting information and listening to, you know, get some advice from others. You don't need to be hitting the head with the baseball bat to know it's going to hurt. So if I can learn from somebody else's mistakes, I'm happy to do it because
Right,
God knows
right. That's
I've
the
got a
best
lot
way
of
to
them
learn.
under my belt. Some of them were a lot of fun.
Well, you know what the good thing is, there's, especially like in the commercial industry right now, which might be a really good place for you to just start getting your feet wet. There's a ton of work for all ages. Well, first of all, in the acting world, period, your age has nothing to do with anything. And when you
Right.
start your process, doesn't even matter, because there's work for all of us. And that's the great thing about acting, is we're telling stories, we're portraying these stories of real people, and real people are from all walks of life, of all ages and races. So it's really interesting that when I get people, you know, that are wanting to start the industry, you know, after having kids or after like getting out of a career, and it's exciting. I think it's an exciting time to have that experience for yourself. So, you know, just keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. That's all I
Will do,
say.
most definitely. And honestly, I honestly really wouldn't know where to start. I've kind of looked around for a little bit to see if I could find some sort of acting classes, but with COVID shutting so much stuff down, that I kind of pushed it to the side.
Yeah,
So
well,
maybe now with whatever's, you know, with a little bit of encouragement here.
yeah. I mean, you know, you might want to do an online class. We offer an online class, or you might want to try to just take a local theater class at, you know, in your area. But there's definitely room to do what you
Right.
need to do right at this moment. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there's local agencies there that are doing like local work. Do you have a question, Lilia? Yeah.
I actually work with they're an agency, but they're not an agency. It's called Seattle Talent Agency. Out of
Okay.
Seattle is who I work with, and you can like go on their website and sign up, and everyone all ages, and they offer classes and headshots and all the stuff you need to get started. I had my quarter life crisis is what I called it, because I turned 25 this year. And I was like, I've always wanted to be an actor. I'm only getting older. I'm doing it. And I found them, and that's how I got started in modeling.
Oh,
On my
that's
first job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that
Putting
was
that in the
Seattle
chat.
Talent Agent.
Can you put that in the chat?
Yeah.
You'll go ahead and put it in the chat, and then it'll just come up
Awesome.
on the side.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
so
course.
welcome. Let's see, Kareem, can you show us yourself and unmute, or if not, just unmute yourself? Ah, there you are. Wait, have I been talking to you on Instagram?
Yes, we definitely spoke on Instagram.
Oh my God, hello.
How are you?
I'm so good. I love when I can put a face to people, an actual voice. So where are you at?
I'm in currently I'm in Jersey.
Okay, you're in New Jersey?
Yeah, so I'm in New Jersey. I lived in LA for 2 years prior to COVID. But I came home because, you know, certain things happened back home with parents to be here for it. But currently right now where I am, I have experience with training. I've taken a Killian course when I was in LA, which was really good. And I have representation in New York. But I feel stuck, you know. I get a lot of great auditions, big commercials. I just can't land them, to be honest with you. I don't know why. And I do a lot of modeling work. Like that's primarily where my experience is. Lots of modeling, athletic stuff. So kind of just like breaking into the acting world is what I really want to do. And kind of with modeling, it gets too technical, and you got to be a certain size, certain weight. You're too big, you're too small, and you're too old. Like you mentioned age before. And, you know, I feel like in the acting world, there's really a talent. And once you hone in on it, no one can take that away from you. So that's why I really want to dive into that full force. And, you know, like you said, we've been talking on Instagram. I've been following you for a while. Watched a couple of your videos on YouTube, and I kind of felt like we related. I know that you said you came from like a modeling background as well. And I was like, okay, she will understand exactly where I am in my career. And, you know, understand the kind, you need a mentor. So that's kind of something that I'm seeking. And I have headshots scheduled tomorrow, so that's exciting as well.
Oh, wow, that's great. What kind of shoot?
So I'm just trying to get like actors headshots. So was looking for really all the majority of the good ones I found are in LA, but I found this really good one in New York. Gave me a good rate, and we booked it up tomorrow. I'm getting slate shots done with every headshot as well. So he's gonna do that for me. And I'm excited to see how those come out. And, you know, I'm here today, so we're definitely doing something right.
Yeah, good. Well, welcome and thank you. I'm definitely going to talk a little bit about headshots, which might help you for your shoot tomorrow and prepping for it. Because there's so much to know, and it's like, you guys, everybody's going into this, you know, I did too. You just go into your career blind, hoping that the universe is going to bring you what you need, right? And you're just going to go down that road and go, I'm just following my passion, which is what I'm supposed to do. And I have to just relax and let whatever's supposed to come in. But the problem happens is when our minds are so congested, sometimes it's hard for us to hear it and see it and get introduced to what the universe, the world, God, whatever you believe in is telling you the next step is. So being sensitive to that and understanding that sometimes it's not about doing. It's about listening. It's about really listening to you. What is it that I really want to do? And then how do I personalize that with what, you know, the direction of my life? And without getting too philosophical, especially as what I teach in my classes, it's really important that you follow you. And self-esteem is a big thing that I talk about. It's a big thing that I teach, because just from my perspective, being an actor for all these years and being a young actor and not having that, and the jobs that I lost, and the heartache that I had because I was constantly, you know, wondering why I wasn't doing this or why I wasn't getting this, because I was getting the opportunities. And then it wasn't until I let all that go and just started really focusing on what do I think of myself and how do I encourage a better belief system in myself, and a more self-love of my individuality and my uniqueness, and love what that is, because that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for you to be like everybody else. They're looking for you to be you, and to be you authentically, and to love that, so that when you can embrace that, and then you start diving into auditions and breaking down your material, your world changes, because you give up this need to get everybody to like you or to do the audition that you think they want so that you can book the job. And you start having fun in this industry and this career, and you start making it work for you, which is a huge thing of what I teach, because you can get involved with people that will try to control you and try to push you, agents, managers, friends, teachers, everybody. But it's all about you, and it's what you want. We want to live our best life for us, right? And it's about being a little bit selfish, because it's about being a lot selfish, really. It's about loving that within yourself. But I'm not going to get into all that stuff today, because that's more of what, you know, I do in private coaching and classes and stuff, but that's just a little snippet of it. So maybe just open your mind to that, you guys, when you're listening today, and even with your questions and stuff. Olya, hi.
Hi, hello everyone. And Raquel, thank you very much for the class today. Sorry for having my camera off. I live in Istanbul, Turkey, and it's 4 a.m. right now here. So yeah, but I wanted to join the class. So
well, thank you.
Thank you. So I'm very really beginning in my career. I've been taking different screen acting classes. Okay. But I think that my situation is pretty much the same with Iris. I feel a little bit lost and a little bit stuck. I don't know how to start actually the career. So I hope to find the answers today.
Oh, well, I think you'll at least find some. And obviously I'm here if I'm not able to answer questions today, or if you realize, oh my God, I didn't answer that question, you can always reach out to me. You guys, I'm super open and available to helping actors. I mean, that's really what I feel like I've gained all this, 3 decades of knowledge for, was what the hell did I go through all of this shit for? And I was like, maybe it's just to help other people figure it out so they don't have to go through it. So I'm always here for that. I feel like that's just a deep you know, passion inside of me. So thank you for joining us, and no worries
very
with the camera. So I really want to just first talk about acting as a whole, and how do we start shifting our thought process. And this goes for everybody, every level that you're at. It's about opening up our thought process to what do we really want to do. So if you don't have a notebook, try to go grab a notebook real quick, because I want you to write a couple things down. And I want you to ask yourself a couple questions, because this is really important. I want to start activating in you this desired passion without the resistance that comes with it, you know, because we get involved in our careers and sometimes we're just so used to hearing no, or it's not working out, or you don't get a call back, or you don't even know, like, how do I even get an agent? I've been submitting, I haven't gotten anything. So we're going to get to all that. It's just about adjusting some thoughts as well. So I want you to write this question down. Why do I want to be an actor? And this is not for you to answer to me. This is for you to answer completely from your soul, whatever that is. And it could be a long answer and it could be a short answer. It's totally up to you. Everything is different. Everybody's different. And it's a good time when you're doing this to really just allow your emotional life to be as open as possible, because as actors, that's really what we have to be. You know, our lives are way more transparent than anybody else's life. Our lives are a lot revolved around our emotional life. Our emotions, we're living it every day, especially if you're doing self-tapes every day, or if you're in class, or you're working on a show, you know, it's constant. So that's an important part of our daily being, you know, as actors, as artists, is we're telling stories that people want to get answers to. We're giving those stories to them. We're giving them ideas. We're helping them understand that. That's what actors do. We also entertain. We make people laugh. So it's a really good idea to just answer that question for yourself. And the next question I want you to ask yourself is, why do I want this so bad? And be honest. Hi, for those of Michael, you're just joining us. We're just, I'm going to have a replay of this, so I'll send it out to you. But right now, I want you to answer a question. If you could write down in a notebook why you want to be an actor and why you want it so badly. And you can elaborate on this too as things shift for you. So the reason why I have you guys start with these questions is because we all have these desires inside of us and we're entitled to every one of them. And so some people go, well, I don't know if I should be doing this or not. Or, I mean, I really like the deepest part of me. I love it. It's the only thing I ever want to do. But then we talk ourselves out of it. So this is just the pure you, the real you, without any, anybody telling you anything different, any resistance, anything that you have to do. It's just the desire inside. And it's beautiful. You should love that you have these types of passions in your heart, and they're not there for no reason. I'm just going to tell you that. It's not there for no reason. And the industry can be difficult or it could be rewarding. It's completely up to us. So with that being said, with, a lot of you, what comes first? Right. So I'm gonna speak to the people that are just starting right now. You say to yourself, Raquel, I'm just starting. I don't even know what comes first. What the heck do I do right now? Like, where do I even begin this journey as an actor? So the first thing I always tell people, before you do anything, you make the decision if this is a road that you're going to go down, regardless of what the road looks like. That's why you write this down. Why do I want to be an actor? Okay, wow. Is this something I really want to pursue? Do I really want to do this? Yes, it is. I really do want to do this. Okay, so now what do I do? The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to train. Any kind of training. There's so many opportunities right now for training, you guys. I mean, obviously I'm a coach, so of course I'm going to tell you to train with me, but I really don't care. You train with whoever makes you happy, because I think that you have to be with a coach that you feel completely comfortable with, that you feel has got your back, that you feel you can be open with, but you can also grow tremendously. And grow is being vulnerable and opening your emotions up and understanding, connecting to your emotions, and how do I listen, and how do I, allow myself to be in the moment. So the first thing is you have to get training. If you are more of a comedic actor, I always recommend you take an improv class first. That's just my go-to. I know that these are some improv places: Groundlings, Second City, Upright Citizens Brigade. Obviously, these are the three biggest, and they all offer, I think, online classes right now, because they're all out of Los Angeles, and I think some is out of Chicago and New York, but they do offer online classes. So if you are a comedic actor and you want to do straight comedy, I say the first thing you should do is just take an improv class to understand how to think quickly on your feet, because comedy is all about timing. If you are an actor just that wants to do everything, then I would recommend you take a foundational class to learn how to build a technique in your foundation of acting. That is, how do I break down material? How do I get material and learn how to connect myself to it? How do I build backstories for my characters that are real to me? How do I add, substitutions and obstacles and objectives? And how do I learn how to live in the moment? And all of this is done through training, because when you're doing something on a weekly basis or on a daily basis and you're rehearsing with a scene partner, you grow. And I'm telling you, I've been coaching for 10 years. There is not one person that has been coaching with me consistently that has not grown. I've never seen it. I've never seen somebody continue to stay the same that is diligent about their coaching. So it is very, very important that you get training. If you want to do theater, say you have a love of theater and you want to do theater, then go take a theater class. Go get yourself immersed in a local theater group. If you're nervous about it, just take the first step and just start. And you never know what might come out of it. So training is definitely important. Once you get, I would say, about 6 months of training behind your belt. Now, this is for the newbies. There's some people that have already been training. So, you know, you're like, Raquel, I've already had 2 years of training. Okay, then we'll move on to the next thing for you guys. But once you get about 6 months of training behind your belt, if you're a quick learner, I say sometimes people are really quick learners and they already have this essence of being open and available, then 3 months you might be able to go after this. Then the first thing you need to do is you need to decide, okay, I have to put my package together. Your package consists of headshots, and all of these apply. Headshots, a resume, a reel, okay? All 3 of those for sure. Then you're gonna wanna upload onto your online casting platforms. Those are Backstage, Casting Networks, Actors Access, and I'm going to clarify those in a minute because they're different for different parts of the industry. There is Casted Talent. There is, I know IMDb has like a thing that you can go on and you can start submitting, but they're not, I would say Backstage, Casting Networks, and Actors Access are the 3 biggest for beginners. And what you're going to do is you're going to schedule a headshot shoot. Do not spend a bunch of money. Don't spend a bunch of money. Don't have your friend take your photos, but you want to get professional shots. And then before you shoot, and this is for you too, Kareem, to think about, you want to decide, who am I in this? What do I want to play? So I always say, and you might want to do this right now, write down 3 shows that 1, you absolutely love, and 2, you think, if I picked you up and plopped you in that show, you could do the job, no problem. 3 of those shows, what are those? Because you got to start thinking of yourself in terms of a business. And should be a show that's pretty much on the air right now or something that's pretty recent. So when you start looking at your career from a perspective of, how do I make it work for me, right? Like, who am I? What is my type? Where am I best suited to start? This does not mean that you can't go after everything you want later on, okay? We're just trying to get you in the door the easiest way. I always, I used to always use this example. I hesitate to use this example now because of everything that happened with Will Smith. I mean, because I don't agree with what he did at all. But the example is always such a good one to use because Will Smith wanted to be in the business. So he was like, I know I'm funny. I know that funny is the easiest thing for me right now. So let me create something really funny. And he did. And he got into the industry being funny and everybody respected him and was like, oh, he's so funny. He's great. And then he went, once everybody knew who he was and he created a name for himself, he went and did all these serious roles. So you might be that same person, or you might be a person that says, Raquel, no, I'm a person that wants to do like a Homeland. I think I could do a Homeland series and book something like that, and then maybe venture out into something funny. So the point is when you are building your package, and I'm going to always call it a package, when you're building your package, it's really important that anybody viewing your package knows exactly who you are. Ah, Kareem, I know exactly what kind of actor he is. I know what he's going after. because you just want to get the casting directors to go, you know what? Let's get Kareem in here, because I know that he is got this type we need. He's a good actor. I've seen his reel. It shows me the exact thing. Let's get him in there. And then once you build the relationship with the casting directors, then they're going to start bringing you in for more stuff. But right now you need people to see you the way that you want them to see you. And if you're an actor that's like, well, Raquel, I can do everything. I know you can. That's our job. We're actors, we're chameleons, but you got to start somewhere. You've got to, the industry is way too saturated right now. There's so much saturation. Everybody's making their own content. Everybody is building their own influence, right? They're all building this and growing, and networks are noticing it, and casting is noticing it, you know, and huge directors are noticing it. So we got to get people to see us. And do, you know, with what we're doing. So the more you can really typecast yourself and say, okay, I have a photo shoot tomorrow and I'm going to do 3 different looks. I would venture to say, this is what I always recommend when I do a goal coaching session with an actor. We sit down for 90 minutes and we talk about all of this stuff and we go into detail. And the first thing I say to them is, you want to create a lookbook if you're doing a headshot shoot. A lookbook. Who are the characters? Who, like your shows, who are the ideas? Who are these people? What kind of looks do they have? What do you need to bring to the table with this photo shoot? Because it's just not about 3 different shots with a black t-shirt, a white t-shirt, a button-down shirt with a tie and a pair of glasses. It's about really specifying who these individual looks are. And then once you do that, and you can still do this tonight, Kareem, you know, you could just do it lightly on Google and then make a paragraph. Who is this person? He's he's an undercover cop that, you know, had a struggle getting into the organization. His dad was a cop, his grandfather was a cop. Maybe, you know, he had a rough time. Maybe he went to jail when he was younger for theft. He was in a gang and got out of a gang and wanted to do something right. Now you got this guy who's somebody. Now you're going to go into this photo shoot and you're going to think about this person, and it's going to come out of you. And you're not just going to be this actor who's just doing a headshot shoot, but you're going to have something going on, and you're going to be able to show me through those photos that you've got something going on through your eyes because you've created it. And that's really, really important. And people don't understand that, especially newer actors when they're doing headshots and they get suckered into these, you know, $800, $1,000 photo shoots, and they don't get, maybe they get 1 picture. And you guys, there's so many solid actors out there, or photographers out there. You could do a photo shoot for $300 and get 3 different looks, and you could get some good shots, but it's about the work that you do. It is not the photographer's job. The photographer's job is to take the pictures. Your job is to create what you want. So remember that. It's very much up to us. So the photo shoots are seconds, very important. Then say, Raquel, I don't have a resume. It's okay. You have, maybe you were in school and you did stuff. Maybe you did a play in high school or in college, you know, that stuff counts. Maybe you don't have any work. Maybe you did a student film. You really don't want to put student films on your resume because they're not really looked up upon. But I would say if you have no other footage, I would tell a little white lie and say it's a short film, not a student film. And no one needs to know that. And if you don't have the footage or the footage is terrible, just don't show it. Okay. But there's ways of getting around it. Then you can add your training, right? That's why training is important. Add special skills. These things are huge nowadays. Everybody's asking for it. Special skills. So, you know, you want to create a compelling resume somehow, some way. There's formats, and I have a resume formatting PDF if you want it, because resumes are specifically formatted for actors. You can't create your acting resume like a job resume because casting directors aren't looking at it like that. So it needs to be very specific. And then what you want to do is you want to create a reel. Now, a reel is a little bit more difficult than all the other things, but it is easier than you think. You can create a reel if you have a budget. You can create a reel if you have no budget. Okay. So I have people in my online class that have been studying with me, and I record my online class every week, and the scenes that they do and the monologues that they do, I send them the recording every week. People cut it and use it as a reel. They use those self-tape opportunities or the opportunity of doing a scene with somebody in class, and they sound great. They look perfect. All these people want to know is that you can act. But if you don't have a reel and you're spending money for these platforms every month, you're wasting your money because it's not doing you any good. They're not going to call you in 9 out of 10 times. Now, there's always a chance they will, but most of the time they're not going to call you in unless you have a reel attached. And the one thing that a lot of people don't know is on Actors Access, when you're self-submitting on Actors Access, you are the only people that are going to be at the top of the list have every box checked. So if you have a headshot, a resume, a reel, and a slate shot, you're going to go above everybody else in the submissions. And then if I have a headshot, I have a resume, and I have a reel, but I don't have a slate shot, you'll be below all the people. So when those submissions go in, all the people that have everything are going to be up top first, and then everybody else is below them. And then if you don't have a reel, you're below them. So you just got to know you're running up against that competition. So it's in your best interest to have all your materials put together. This is your business. If you are selling ice cream at an ice cream store and you don't have ice cream or a bowl, what are you doing? Like, to have a profitable and a successful business, you have to have the materials that you need to keep your business moving forward. Does everybody grab this? Anybody have any questions about this? And if you're not on video, you can always put it in the chat. So just remember that. And then the next thing you want to do once you get your materials together, don't do it before you get your materials together, because this is what a lot of people will do is they're like, oh, well, I just paid $68 for the year on Actors Access, but I don't have my materials together. Well, then why'd you pay it? Like, you're wasting your money. I'm all about, listen, I came from a world of, I had 3 jobs to pay for my acting classes. I was a model, I was a waitress, and I was doing promotions. And it didn't matter. I didn't have, a family that was wealthy and was paying for my stuff. I was paying my own way. And so I knew how important it was for me to work hard and to have the education that I needed for my career. So, but I went through a lot of mistakes, and I did a lot of mistakes of the things that I'm telling you right now that I really don't want you to do, because it's a waste of money. And if you're like me, you don't have the money to waste, and so it's important that we know what the stages are so that we're not getting sucked into these ideas. You don't ever want to hire an agent that's going to charge you money. Absolutely not. If an agent says, we'll sign you if you do a photo shoot with us, or if you do, no, negative. Agencies don't work like that. Terrible. Okay. Don't even bother. Now, if they lead you to a photographer and they say, well, we like working with this photographer, I'm sure the photographer is giving them a kickback, especially if it's a small agency in a small town. There's probably no way around that. If you're in the bigger towns, then that is an absolute no. I wouldn't even go near that. But you always want to remember that this is on the level business acting, and there is a lot of shit that goes on, a lot of people getting taken advantage of. So just make sure that you have somebody that you can go to. You now have me. I'm here. You have questions, you want to meet somebody approaches you, hey Raquel, this person, just pop me a DM or send me an email. I will tell you right away, or I'll do the research for you, because I don't want you to get stuck in that. So now once you're ready to to go after it and start self-submitting. You don't need representation to really actively start self-submitting. And now you're not going to get what the agents get and the managers get, because how many of you know or are on Actors Access? Raise your hand if you're on Actors Access. How many of you are on casting networks? Okay. How many of you, and you can put it in the chat if you are, you guys. So Oya, Michael, Cindy, if you guys are on it, and wait, who else are these people? Jesse, if you guys are on it, you guys can always just, you know, pop it in the text. So how many of you have representation? Okay, kinda. Okay. And Kareem, you have representation in New York.
Yeah, I'm signed with MMG, but they were, when I was living in LA, they were also getting me bookings in LA because they're bi-coastal.
Okay, are they a talent agency or primarily modeling?
Talent agency.
Okay. Are they so is anybody here SAG or SAG eligible? No. Okay. So I just want to know who I'm talking to, how I'm going to talk to you guys about this. Okay. So the desire is to get representation, obviously, right? Especially if you are already went through everything that I just said. Okay. So for the newer actors, you have to follow the steps that I just went through before you want to even think about getting representation. Do not tell me that you have not taken an acting class and you just went and got a headshot shoot and you want to get representation, because nowadays, especially if you're in a big city, they're just going to laugh at you. Okay. They're not even going to respond to you. In the smaller cities, they might be like, hey, what the hell? Might as well. So, you know, if you're living in Portland, you might want to go for it. You know, you might want to say, hey, at least I could do some commercials while I'm getting my feet wet. But the point is, for you guys, especially Iris and Kareem, you guys have experience. You guys have taken classes. You guys are in that position right now where you should be submitting. So you both want to be theatrical actors. Is that what I'm guessing? And anybody else over here in the list of people that don't have their videos on, please try to be as active as you can in the chat so that I can help facilitate to you as well. So my question to you guys, or not even my question, my advice, is the first place that you want to be is on Actors Access. You want to be on Actors Access, no representation. I've done some voice acting improv for about 5 years. Okay, perfect. So Actors Access, I'm going to tell you the difference really quick. So from my world, and I was an agent for 3 years. I know it's crazy. I've dabbled in everything. I feel like I own a restaurant. It's like when you're an owner of a restaurant, you have to like dabble in everything. But my commercial agent, I had a commercial agent for 15 years that I worked with. And I, for the life of me, could not book a commercial like 15 years ago. I couldn't book a commercial. Now I was a host, I was modeling. I maybe did, before 2010, I think I maybe did 5 commercials in my whole career. I couldn't book a commercial. I didn't know why. So I kept telling my commercial agent, what's the deal? Are you submitting me? And he's like, yeah, I'm submitting you all the time. I'm like, well, what is it? Is my headshots? Do I need, like, what do I need? He's like, I don't know. He's like, maybe you need to get to know the casting directors. And I said, how do I get to know the casting directors? I'll do whatever you want me to do. He said, Christmas time, I bake cookies. Do you want to bake cookies with me and go drop them off at the casting directors? And I was like, you know what? Yes. So during Christmas, I baked 75 dozen cookies, 75 dozen. And we went around to every commercial casting director in Los Angeles. And I made these tins. And you know what I did? To take it one step further, I went and I took my headshot and I printed it on a sticker. And I put a sticker on every single one of those tins. And I said, Merry Christmas from Raquel and Jeff at Pacific Talent. And I would drop them off. So every time everybody opened up that tin, they would see my little headshot. And I introduced myself. Hey, I'm Raquel. I'm with Pacific. You know, he's like, yeah, she's one of our actors. She does a lot of theatrical stuff, but she doesn't do as much commercial. We're just trying to introduce her to everybody. I started getting called in. So then I said to Jeff, I really want to understand this commercial side of the business because there's a lot of money to be made that could be supplementing my income so that I don't have to have a second job or this or that. He said, well, why don't you come in to the office a couple days a week? I can train you how to submit, show you what's going on, and then you could just do the submissions for me. And I was like, I would love to do that. So I went in there and I started just learning everything. I started learning it, started learning how to submit. I started learning what gets submissions called in. I started learning how to read the breakdowns. I started getting to know the casting directors. Obviously, I went with like a different name so that they didn't think it was me, but I was learning all this stuff. And I started submitting myself, right? Because my agency I was with, I started submitting myself. I started getting called in. I started booking commercials. I was like, what the hell? It's just about understanding our industry. I did that for 3 years and I booked over 20 commercials. So I immerse myself in that. And the knowledge that I have to give you is what I learned was these platforms are different for different people. Now, casting networks, and I'm going to say primarily, it doesn't mean that it doesn't sway the other way. Primarily is commercials when it comes to Los Angeles and New York. They're very high-end commercial. Every commercial casting director submits through casting networks. Now, you guys do not see what your commercial agent sees. They get a whole other set of breakdowns. And on casting networks, there's movies and there's some TV, there's like some low budget stuff that comes in and out, and it's not bad. It doesn't mean, but if you want to be a theatrical actor and that's really where your forte is, you should be on Actors Access because there is some good stuff coming out on the actor's side where the actors could submit. So my advice to you guys, especially Kareem and Iris, if you guys are looking to start gaining this understanding, right? And start getting more work and getting called in. I would pay the $68 for the year. I would put your profile on Actors Access and make it the most badass profile you could have. And then I would start to submit and see what's getting me called in, what headshots getting me called in. You know, if I got my reel, let me see, are they liking it? Is it getting me opportunities? Because then you can also go on, it's called Talent Link. And let's see if I could even, hold on. I'm going to show you guys this. I'm just going to show you this. I'm going to share this real quick. Okay. Can you guys see this? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this is Actors Access. All right. Now, this is going to be the actor's side that you're going to see, because I'm going to show you based on I'm not going to show you my profile, but I'm going to show you. And what is out there. I'll show you what's out there in LA. I'll show you what's out there in New York. And there's also other areas too that have this as well. So once you build your profile, okay, and you're going to have to go on and you're going to have to build your profile with your headshots, your resume, your media, your size card, and your slate shots. And a slate shot, you know, Kareem, you know, but for anybody that doesn't know, is a quick little 7-second, you know, headshot, virtual headshot that says, hey, my name is Raquel Gardner. Hi guys, I'm Raquel. Hey, what's up? I'm Raquel Gardner. That's it. And if you want to get really creative, if your headshot is like a gangster, you know, like a thug, you'd be like, what's up? I'm Kareem, you know, act the part, you know? And so basically that's what you have to put together. But then once you put it together, you're going to go here Okay, look at United States. Look at, I got Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Central, Atlantic, Midwest, North England, North Central, Rocky Mountains, Southwest, so Northwest. So there's, you know, look at Oregon, Washington, there's breakdowns everywhere. So if you go here, let's go to Los Angeles. All right, look at all these breakdowns. I'll tell you right now, good casting director right here, good casting director right here. Russell Bose, not bad casting director. Kara Sullivan does tons. Michael Donovan does tons. Liz Lewis, big casting director. So you see what's going on here? You got opportunities. Yeah, you have a question, Iris?
So what if you put all the filters that you would for your height, your gender, your what you're searching for, what kind of roles you play, and it all minimizes the breakdowns to like a very short
Does,
view
right?
where I feel like it doesn't show me feature films. It doesn't.
So I'm going to show you right now. If you want just something that's for you. So once you fill out your size card, you guys, and it's really important when you go on Actors Access to fill out your size card properly. You have to put your age range. And you have to be realistic about your age range. And I'm going to show you why. And you have to put your ethnicity status. And if you like could be ethnically ambiguous, like put that, like Irish, your brown eyes too. Yeah, you could be a lot of different ethnicities. Same with you, Kareem. You know, you could like play around with it a little bit. So, and give yourself more of an opportunity. So once you fill out your size card and all that stuff properly, you go up here to filters. And you go breakdowns fit for me. Now, I don't know if you want to do reality, if you don't want to do reality, but if you don't want to do reality, you cut that. And if you only want to do paying roles, then you probably should click that. Now it's going to show you, okay, so let's go on here, right? Winter's Garden, feature film. This is a role that is specific to me, because it has narrowed it down with the filters that I have put in. So now I know that I don't have to go through every single breakdown because it just did the work for me. So now I can be like, oh, let's see. Okay, well, British. No, I'm not British. So let's just go back. I'm going to do that one, right? Photo shoot. Okay, let's see. What is that going to pay? Okay, here we go. Ad campaign. Let's do a short. Short's not bad. Some of them pay really well. Right? This is only giving you copy, credit, and meals. Well, I don't really want to do anything like that. So I wouldn't even bother. Right? Industrial. Some industrials are fun. You can make money. Right? This one's a $500 job. It's like quick and easy. And it's a VO, like boom, no brainer, right? I'd go on and just quickly do that. So the point is there's work out there. So if we go up to New York, I mean, look at all the work. Tucker Myosin, Justin Ross. You know, here's another feature film. It's a non-union, but that's okay. Ricky Lewis, ad campaign. Another Liz Lewis. She's a good casting director. You know, there's HBG. I don't know who they are, but they're doing background stuff, but there's some stuff that are actual roles on here. So this is opportunity to get some work. You know, here's a short film, Tito, you know, Delivery Man. There you go. You know, you could even be submitting for that. It pays $250 a day, Kareem. You know what I'm saying? You're in New Jersey, but you know, everything's over self-tape right now. So who's to say that you couldn't do the self-tape and book the job and go stay at your friend's house? You know, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I'm going to stop sharing, but you guys see where I'm going with this. Which platform might include other countries, for example, the UK? I know that Casting Networks does do, they have different, they have UK Casting Networks. And you know what, Olya? I want you to reach out to me on email because I just did an interview with my friends. One of them is a really big actor in the UK. He's just got booked on that show, The Offer. And they have a platform that they have started over there a couple years ago that's gaining momentum. So I could, send you over to them. I can't remember the name right now off the
That's
top of my
okay.
head, but
Thank you.
yeah, for sure. And so there definitely is, and there's opportunities all over, and if it doesn't hurt also, like Kareem, to check out LA breakdowns and say, hey, just submit yourself. And if you get the job, say, listen, I'm in New York, but I will fly to LA and I'll be a local hire. You probably have friends here, I'll get myself there for $250 if it's a job that's worthwhile. It's about, we got to start thinking outside the box. You know what I mean, people? So about I'm going to get into representation because it's like, we could be talking about this for hours. We're already running out of time. I want to get to all the questions too. So when it comes to representation and getting representation, my advice to you is first, try to go the route that I just gave you, right? Get all your stuff together, get it all in order, and, get all that stuff ready, get your slate shots. If you don't have slate shots, get them, do your Actors Access and start submitting and see what's getting you called in, what jobs you're getting called in for, where the momentum is going, and what, is it going in the direction that you want to go in as far as work. Then you go, you know what, I'm ready to get some representation, because again, to get representation, you're going to want to have these platform profiles already, because you're going to put those links in the email that you send to your representation. They're not going to download anything. So if you guys are reaching out to representation and you're sending them headshots that have to be downloaded and resumes that have to be downloaded, they're not going to do it. They just don't have time. A lot of them, maybe it's different now that they're working from home, but I know back in the day, their computers couldn't handle all that stuff. So you want to make it easy for them, easy, super easy. So once you're ready to go after representation, you want to go, I know that Actors Access has a platform called Talent Link. So once you get on Actors Access, and listen, I have no connection to Actors Access. They don't even know I'm giving them so much praise right now. So by any means, don't think I'm getting a kickback from Actors Access. It just is a very good platform for actors to start building momentum on. So there's a thing called Talent Link on there. And for $35, you can go on there and your profile will get put in front of all these agents and managers that are looking for representation. And they can click on your profile and they can call, they can request a meeting from you, or they can request additional materials, or they can, want to sign you. So it's definitely a good opportunity for you to get in front of representation. Your representation is super important. You can have terrible representation. You absolutely can. There's a lot of agencies right now, especially in LA. Everybody's calling themselves an agent right now. And the thing that I see that's heartbreaking for me is I see these actors that are really good. They're really solid actors. And they get with an agent that's one agent that doesn't really have anybody working, that really is just starting out. And listen, no disrespect to them. They're just trying like we all are, but you're not going to get anywhere with them. You need to find a way to get in with these people that have some juice that can get you in the door. And so the good thing to do is you can go on IMDb Pro. IMDb is, oh, hello, Michael. IMDb is, the International Movie Database. If you go IMDb Pro, it's $20 a month. You can get with friends maybe and split it, but you don't need it more than 1 month just to get the names and the emails of the agencies and the managers, because they have all of it on there. And it's just an easy way to start making a spreadsheet of an email list for agents and managers. And you can create a nice little email that's very short and sweet. Says, hey, your subject matter is extremely important to put in there, something that's going to catch their attention. Don't try to be savvy. Just parlay it on you, on what your strengths are. You know, I'm a 20-something ethnically ambiguous, strong actress seeking representation across the board. That's enticing to agents. You know, Iris, that's very enticing to agents. They'd be like, oh, well, I mean, that's a no-brainer, because they're looking, they're thinking of money. They're thinking of opportunity and money. That's all they're thinking of. You know, is she going to bring us money, and is she going to bring us opportunity? So the more you can position yourself and show them, the better. So, you know, you create a nice little email, very short and sweet, attach your links, no downloads, links only, and go after some representation. See what's out there. If you don't get a response, follow up with a phone call. You got to be shrewd in this business. You can't sit back and go, oh, I don't want to bother anybody. Bother them. Bother the hell out of them. Just bother them. If the answer's already no, who cares if you keep bothering them? You might get one person that might be like, man, this girl has emailed me and called me and sent me a postcard and emailed me again. Geez, oh man, just bring her in for a meeting or something. And then you go in and you can wow them. So I'm just going to give you that much just because I want to spend the next 20 minutes going through questions, but there's so much more, you guys. I will hold more sessions and I will try to talk in depth about other things so that you guys can really kind of parlay on this and get, you know, gather it together, because it's just, I mean, I have literally just touched on, you know, everything. There's just so much. The one thing I am going to say that you can do also is social media. Connect yourself with these casting directors and these agents and these managers and these directors on social media. Just follow them, comment on some of their stuff, get them to start recognizing you, right? I mean, Kareem, I recognize you, your name, right? Just because you sent me a message and I answered the message and I was like, well, your name, interesting, right? Now here you are, I recognize you, I remembered. People remember stuff, right? So you want to start building. I'm going to leave you with this before the questions. The most important thing in your career is that you build relationships with the people that can give you the opportunities. Whoever those people are, build relationships somehow, some way. Whether it's reaching out to them on social media, don't stalk them. Don't be a crazy stalker. Just reach out. Hello. Hey, I really like, you know, the casting you did for Stranger Things was amazing. It's my favorite show. Good job. Kudos to you. Boom. Leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Just something, make them feel good. They're people too. And then you never know, they might come across your headshot and they might call you in because they might remember something. So this is all stuff, you guys, that it's just stuff to think about, right? But, and then, you know, any other questions that you have that are personalized to what you're going through, you can always email me. You know, you can always DM me on social media. Obviously, follow us on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and Pinterest. It's The Actor's Mark. We do have a website. But I just want to open this up to questions because I know that some people have sent me in some questions. So I will answer one or two of those. And then we're just going to, you know, start posting them in chat. Or if you just want to wait, I will ask you specifically. So one person sent me a question, said, how do I get started? I'm currently on Backstage and I want to apply for roles, but I have no clue of what to do if I'm selected to audition. How can I prepare myself for when I'm called in for an audition? It's kind of like 4 questions in one, but we'll, you know, I'm trying to tackle this anyway. So the first thing is Backstage, get some auditions. You know, it's a place where you can get some auditions. So I definitely say if you want to join Backstage, it's good as well. What to do if you're selected to audition? Well, you should, you know, you should know what to do because you've already trained for it. So you should know training wise what you're supposed to be doing. But if you're selected for the audition, my first advice to you is read everything listed. Read everything they have written down in your submission notes, because you want to follow exactly what they're telling you to do. Some casting directors like things differently. So don't just assume that all your, submission instructions are going to be the same, because that's not the case. So once you read through it, say it's just standard, right? Well, then you want to work on your material first. You want to work on your material. You want to be off book. Do not do submissions without being off book. I mean, don't accept that if you don't think that you can do that. If you absolutely have no time to be off book, then wherever you're setting up your filming, you're going to have those pages printed out literally right here next to the camera. So if my camera's right here, my page is going to be right where my eye line is that I'm talking to somebody. So if my person is reading with me, I'm basically going to be looking at them. And if I need to look at my material, I look at my material and I look right back up at them. So it's not distracting. You don't want material in the way. You don't want to be like this, right? You don't want to be like this with your self-tape, right? If this was my self-tape opportunity, this is what I would be doing. I would probably have my ring light, my big ring light. I wouldn't have glasses on, but I would have my material up here like this. If you can't read it up there, have your material right in your hand and be like this. So you're looking, boom, 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 right? And you're going to be self-taping that way. You want really good lighting. You want good sound. You don't want to be in a room that's echoing. You don't want to be in a room with open windows. You don't want to be outside where there's a lot of distracting noise. It's really important that they hear you and that they see you. So you want your lighting to be really important. They want to see your face and your facial expressions. Also, your framing is really important. Right? Like this framing for me is typical for a self-tape framing. You see that? I don't have very much room above my head at all. Like this is terrible framing. You cannot, they don't want this. Okay. They don't want this. They want all this head room above your head. You want to be like this. And your eye line when you're self-taping should be to the left or to the right of the camera. Your eye line should not be down here. You don't want to be talking to somebody over here. You don't want to be like, oh, yeah. No, that doesn't work. Okay. No profile stuff. You don't want to be like, a lot, it's just right here. It's very simple. It's very subtle. If somebody says, what time did you get home today? What time did I get home today? Well, I don't need to answer that question. Like you're just very simple right there. You don't need to move your head a lot. You don't want to be too active. You don't want to have a ton of props. This background would be terrible. I would need a plain background, either plain white, a blue screen, a green screen. I don't even care if it's gray. I don't care if it's brown. I don't care what color it is, as long as it's plain and simple, right? Like for you, Lilia, if you took that picture off the wall, you'd be fine right there, right? You could stand up, you'd be perfect. Michael, you looks like you're in a music room. Are you? You're in a music room right now with, it looks like those are padding.
It's a sound booth.
Oh, sound booth. You probably could do it in the sound booth, because if you took those cords from behind you away, because your lighting looks great.
Oh yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, like you could do that there. Like Cassania, you'd have to obviously, take that thing off the wall, but you could use those panels, that paneling, you would just want to frame yourself from here. So you just want to make sure that you have like, those things are solid, because you don't want to be putting yourself in a position where you look inexperienced. You just want to look experienced right off the bat. So that's really, really important. Like for you, Iris, the lighting is a little dim for where you're at right now. I mean, obviously you're not doing a self-tape, so you would want your lighting to be much brighter to show your face, So these are some things that are really important. preparation is key. One thing I'm going to give you technically that I really work on solidly with my students in my classes is, especially for self-taping, as an actor that is submitting and is self-taping, you absolutely have to start from a place of activeness. So a moment before is very important. You need to know, where am I coming from? And why am I in this situation now? Like, where am I coming from? Because in our lives, we're always coming from somewhere and going to somewhere, right? Like that's just, we're always like, Lilia, you came into this class, and once you leave, you're probably going to go eat, or you're going to go walk the dog, or you're going to go do something that, you know what I mean? We're coming and going always, we're always doing something. So an actor that is the same thing is, you're coming from somewhere. If you are in a scene that is you walking into your house and your brother, sister, or friend is, upset at you about something. First of all, you don't know they're going to be upset when you walk in, so you can't anticipate, but you're coming in from somewhere. What's your energy coming? Where'd you come in from? Did you come in from the gym? Did you come in from a date? Are you happy? Did you come in from work that you're miserable? You don't have that energy. So you walking into your scene or starting your scene from a place of an active energy, and you're not just like, oh, here I am, I'm an actor, and now I'm going to start. It's very amateurish, and we can see that. So that is a great piece of advice you can all take with you when you start doing self-taping. Okay, so I'm going to start with some questions. Obviously, Olia, answer that question for the UK, and then you'll reach out to me. Michael says, I can't wear contacts, so are the glasses a showstopper? Not necessarily. I have this problem too, because I wear glasses to read, and that's why I always have to have my material memorized, because even if I put the material up, I have to like print it in really big letters so I can see it. Otherwise I can't read it. It's not, as long as you're not getting such a glare from your ring light or any lights that you're like, see right now I have this huge glare right here. This is very distracting for a self-tape. So if you don't have to use them, if your material, if you're off book, I would say, and the character is more of a non-glasses type of person, I would say don't use the glasses. But if you have to use the glasses, then just use them and make sure that you're not getting a lot of glare on the glasses. And that has to do with what's in front of you. And because you have to look in the direction of the ring light, so it makes it difficult. I mean, like, you have to look in this direction. You got this big ring light that's like giving you 2 circles on your eyes. So you have to be really careful with that, because they want to be able to see your expression. Like,
Okay.
it's really, really important to see their expression. On Amazon, they have a great pop-up backdrop, double-sided, 2 different colors. Oh, Kareem is just offering that up. That's really great. Could you, oh, he put the link in there too. So if you guys want to click on the link in the chat, Neewer 5x7, chroma key, black and white, double-sided pop-up collapsible backdrop with support stand, foldable panel for photo and video shooting. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kareem. That is so perfect. And, these things are things that we need to invest in. If we're actors, we have to invest in our craft. We have to invest in these things. It's just part of our job. And I know it's tough. So, if you have friends and you want to go in on it together and you guys do self-tapes together, just find a way to make it work for you. Who has questions now? Anybody has questions? Don't hesitate. Just reach right out. Okay, Lilia.
Have you ever heard of IMCA?
IMCA?
TA, International Model Talent something.
So yes, International Model and Talent Association. It's like a not a pageant, it's like a conference, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm going to that in July in New York. Very scared. But I was curious if you'd heard of it because Seattle Talent, they go to it every year and they've had some really good success stories. Obviously not everybody,
Right.
gets, but they do like an agent day where you compete, you have your number. They see, it makes me think of a dance convention. I grew up doing dance. You're all in a room doing the same thing and they're like, oh, I like that one, that one, that one, that one.
I did a pageant, not a pageant. I did a similar convention when I was 13 years old in New York.
Mhm.
And it's good.
Do you think that's a good thing? I'm
Okay, I have both sides of the coin to that. Like first of all, you have to pay a lot of money.
Mhm.
It's like, what is it now? It was like $1,400 when I was young. So what is it now? Like $3,000?
Yeah.
Is
Around
it
there.
more than that?
Well, they supply the hotel, food, and all of that
Right.
stuff. And
So they supply
if you-
hotel and food and the
Yeah.
competition. And how much is it? And do they supply the airfare?
No, not airfare.
And it's $5,000.
Mm-hmm. But the one thing, I also am getting a ton of training out of it by a acting coach from LA. His name's Sharif, and he's like, I love him. He's amazing, but it's also free training for the months leading up to it. They're hair and makeup stylists. Like,
so you're gaining some perspective. You know what? This is the thing. It's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, and it's a lot.
If you want to spend that money, it's not going to hurt you. And you'll gain an experience. Just make sure that you set some intentions for that. Don't just go there and have some open experience.
No.
Research the agents. Dial yourself in on which ones you actually want to see.
Yeah.
See who their clients are. Decide to be very specific about what your performance is going to be, what you're going to do. How, go in there with a drive to make this a successful opportunity for you so that you're not just going in there spending $5,000 and you walk away going, oh, well, I did a commercial in front of a couple of those people and I did this and but I didn't get it, but nothing else happened.
Yeah. No, I can't talk. I've signed up for like every competition that I feel like I would do good at. Like there's a monologue competition, there's an improv, there's 2 different commercial competitions. And I'm trying to go in like all the same theme, if that makes sense. Like my monologue personality, I want to match to my commercial, like how you're saying, decide who you want to be.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. And then the owner of Seattle Talent, he is super involved in Hank Ritter. You might have heard of him. He's in LA a lot. I don't know. He is going to sit there and be like, okay, these agents want you, but not these ones. Like he's going to help filter out the bad ones.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, it seems like you've got a good handle on it, and go have the experience and hopefully you'll get, something good that comes out of it. Are you willing to move to LA or New York?
Part-time, yeah.
What do you mean part-time?
Like if I could be there for certain parts of the year, or like if I'm needed there for a few months at a time.
Don't tell the agents that.
I won't.
Don't tell the agents that. Agents don't want to know that you're only available part-time, because they want to know you're available whenever they need you.
Okay.
So just you keep that to yourself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If they say, are you willing to move to LA? Sure am.
Okay.
Could you move tomorrow? Sure. Like they're just getting a lay of you. They're just trying to understand what you're, are you serious or not? So you just want to talk to them,
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else? Iris, I know you have some questions.
I have a few, but I don't want to take up a lot of time. So I guess
go ahead.
My first question is, because I want it to be more, I guess, more personalized, so I have more time to ask you. So you do have a goal coaching class, or
goal coaching sessions. I don't have classes. Yeah.
Sessions. So I guess you pay by the session, and then like we get an hour with you.
Hour and a half
To discuss.
Yeah. So if you go on either my website or even go on Linktree, you'll see the drop down and it'll tell you like what's involved in the goal coaching session. It'll like give you a bunch of information about it, like, all the details to it. But I really honestly think that's what you're going to benefit from the most first, because you need a direction that's going to get you from this place that you're at to actually start getting the industry to see you,
Right.
to start working. Because I don't know what kind of actor you are, but you said that you have studied a lot. So I'm guessing that you've got like a good technique under your belt.
Yeah, I've just gone to different studios and tried to find what my feel is, and a studio that could help me kind of get me in that direction, but I haven't found that yet. So I have trained, but kind of like variously at different places.
Who have you trained with?
So I first started out at Young Actors Studio in North Hollywood.
Huh?
But they, I think, weren't as into getting people on camera. So then I went to Young Actors Space because I was convinced they had a wall full of like people who I know who had been there and celebrities I've seen before. So I went there, and they also, I did a showcase, and I had really set myself high for that, and then nothing came out of it. And luckily it wasn't that much, but I've done a showcase where it has been a lot and I haven't gotten anything out of it. I went to Cynthia Bain Young Actor Studio. That was a bust, I felt. I went to recently Anthony Mindel's actor studio in Hollywood. And now I'm trying to just.
How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
19.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I'm very kind of gullible to whatever Instagram tells me, and that's kind of how I found some of those studios.
You just need somebody to take you under their wing, but you also need to be treated as an adult and not a kid.
I agree. I agree completely.
Because you're 19 and you're an adult, you need to start working in an adult environment because you're going to be getting that content, but you also need to grow out of, let me teach you the basics, and you need to start understanding what moves you, how to get that activated in you, how to be emotionally available for yourself and for your characters, and how to connect vulnerably with other people on a level that is like, what are your 3 favorite shows?
The shows that inspired me the most to get into acting were ironically like not really my favorite shows now. I love Normal People.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I thought, a brilliantly written show. The Vampire Diaries was the show when I was in 8th grade that really just propelled me into acting. It's a very CW show. And then The Office.
You know what? Paul's a friend of mine.
No way. No, I rewatched recently. I've been in this rut, and I thought I'm gonna rewatch the show that gave me inspiration in the first place. And I remember at the time I thought it was just like, it was more. I thought it was way better than Twilight. I thought it was like the perfect amount of cliche for me.
Right.
Rewatching it, I'm realizing new things, and the way these actors just were given so much to do in a day. And anyway, I go back to those shows often, and the writing of it is so beautiful. And those are things I do envision myself in. But in some ways, I feel a bit of an imposter when I already imagine myself in those positions, and I'm putting myself and giving headshots of myself as if I'm those roles when I've never done anything like that before. And I don't know until I do it. I don't know if I'm good at them until I do it. Or I guess I have a lot of like anxiety about like how I'll be perceived as an actor.
Every actor does.
Yeah.
Olga has a question right now. How do we decrease the self-consciousness?
Exactly. And this comes with me even finding a reader. I don't want to take advantage of anyone, especially if they're my friend. I don't want to get something out of someone if they're not getting something out of me. And I'm like, the scheduling has to be right, because then I have to do a favor for them. And like, I don't know how to go about any of it. And also technically.
No, but let me tell you something. All that thought process is taking away from you actively being in the moment when you're self-taping and just booking that job, because you got too much going on.
Yeah, and I think you said it perfectly earlier. You said be a little more selfish. That's something I'm really trying to do, is take more initiative and just like, this is my career if I want it to be.
Yep.
But I need to take that step. And
But
maybe that means asking things from people,
You are. And if you have to pay for it, you have to pay for it. You know, go on We Audition. We Audition is a platform, and you can put yourself on there too to get paid. You know, you could be a reader, and you could offer your services, you know, or you could go on there and get a reader. I don't even know how much it is, but I just know that that is a platform that's available for people. Call your mom, call your dad, call your, you know, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like, just sometimes I will call my sister and I'll have her do it over FaceTime. And she's in Ohio. I'm just like, hey, I gotta get it done. I just like, sorry, I'll buy you a coffee next time I see you, whatever. You know, people that love you, people that appreciate and know what you're doing, they know your struggle, they're gonna be there for you. I know what pride feels like, but right now, you have to just put yourself in the position to get to your next level. And the only way you're going to do that is if you start narrowing the focus. When your brain is all over the place, you can't narrow the focus. You know what I'm saying?
Completely. And I think me like almost inconveniencing myself by going this whole way, like thinking of all these people I don't want to take advantage of, or thinking of the time I'm gonna waste, or thinking of all this. It's in a way to like humble myself. I don't want people to think by me posting something that I think I'm so great, or that I think I don't have much more to learn. Like even my friend, I had just done this cool student film. It's really not a big deal, but my mom and my friend were encouraging me to post it. But I don't even want people in my normal life, my coworkers, to see stuff like that. My mom. See, that's the thing. It's like, I want this to be a career. I want this to be something eventually people will see me in.
What do you do for a regular job?
I'm also a waitress.
I'll say something really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like what you were saying, I feel like the same way, but I feel like you should have that confidence and you should put it out there, because if you don't feel that way about yourself, nobody else is going to feel that way about you, or nobody else is going to believe in you in that way. So I feel like if you feel in your soul that I'm this good, like I feel like I'm this good, then you should put it out there, because if you feel that way, other people are going to start feeling that way, and they're going to be like, I see what she sees in herself.
Exactly.
And that's more people gravitate towards that energy more than somebody feeling as though I want to be humble. You shouldn't feel humble about, I mean, you shouldn't have to feel humble about your talents. You know, some people always say like, oh, I feel humble. You should feel like confident in yourself and what you bring to the table. Because most of the time you are the table.
Let me tell you something, your world's gonna change. You
as soon as I stop giving a shit, I just know it, because the drive.
Well, I'm your big sister now, so let me tell you something, you're gonna start not giving a shit at all.
Oh, if I'm with you, I'm golden. No, really, I think
you are really gonna be going after it, because I won't let you not, now that I know this. You have to just like, it's about knowing your worth and knowing what you have to give. And a lot of times we are questioning ourselves because of, you know, what we've heard growing up, or what people told us, or what happened in school and all this bullshit. And right now you need to allow yourself the opportunity to be a goddess.
And what if like,
and Lilia's like, please let me talk.
I love this.
No, I had to say, one, Vampire Diaries, same. Like, that's the show I've been watching 24/7. I'm like, okay, if I could choose to be like on any show, it would be that show. Sad it's over. And then literally like same with all of that. And I've told no one I'm pursuing this. It's been like a big secret. And I kind of feel like I should just like go post, be like, I got my first real modeling job, and just be like, now I feel like I should go like let the world know what I'm doing.
So listen, I'm going to just give you some advice on, thank you that. And she also said that she can be a reader with you over Zoom if you ever need.
Oh yeah, anybody. Follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, this is how it works.
And put your numbers in the chat, and you guys can hang on to the numbers and do a thread or whatnot. But what I'm going to say to this is you can only get somebody to believe in you as much as, like Sonia said, as much as you believe in yourself. But if you're not ready, you're not ready. If you're not ready, you're not ready. When you're ready, you're ready. I've been there, okay? I've been in that place. Now, mind you, I had a fucking cocky attitude, excuse my French, coming out here as a 19-year-old. I was cocky, cocky, cocky. But once I started getting rejected, I was like, what is going on, right? It took me a very long time. It probably wasn't until I was maybe 40, till I was like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Why do I care what other people think? Like, why is it so important for me to care what other people think when those other people aren't delivering my future? I am. So it's okay that they have an opinion, but I'm just not going to give in to the opinion and make their opinion more valid than my own. But this comes with so much, Iris. It's like I can't even get it all out in one day. It's like, it's about surrounding yourself with people that lift you up. It's about putting yourself in a position where the knowledge that you have is giving you strength and energy. It's about knowing that you know that you know that you know what you're doing, and you know you're doing it well, and you have no question about it. So when you get to that place, you'll know it. When you expand yourself to that place, the questions will go out of your mind, because one, as an actor, you should be focusing on the work. When you have a work, like a work ethic in place, and you know how to break down your material and how to add yourself to the role and how to build a backstory and how to create the dynamic in the role, these thoughts aren't coming in because you're focused on what you have to do within the scene of the audition, or you're in class and you're getting up there. And trust me, this happens. I see this every week. I have people coming and going. I see it every single week. Every time I will, sit people down in my class and I'll say, what's the issue right now? I need to be liked. I have perfectionism. I need to be perfect. I am self-conscious because I don't want people to judge me, or I feel like I'm being judged. I'm always being judged. And all these questions are really valid, and these concerns, but the truth is, yes. People are going to judge you. They're going to have an opinion of you, and they're going to say whatever they want. And your job is to just do the work. Like, you're a waitress. When you go to your job, you're confident, aren't you? Yeah. You know your menu. Yeah. You know how to carry a tray. You know how to talk to your customers. You know how to deliver the check. You know how to pick up that check. You know how to have a personality. You don't go in there going, oh God, are they going to like me? Or are they not going to like me? You go in there and go, hey, how you doing? What do you want to drink? Hey, what's going on? Have a nice day. Okay, thank you. Because you know that you've trained and that you're doing it consistently on a daily basis, that you go, I could walk in there with my eyes closed and be a waitress.
Of course.
So why are you doing it differently as an actor? What's at stake different? You're exposed?
I think the problem isn't even that I fear people will judge me in a negative way. It's more like, I think you're right. It has a lot to do with just myself. Like, how I perceive a project that I did. Most of the time I'm like, no, I could have done better. I could have done better, or it's cringy. Like this recent thing that I did, I'm like, wow, I went and did this for 2 days. I rehearsed, I memorized, and I was so proud of myself. And I felt so good after I'd done it. And now I feel ashamed after watching it, because it's great, it's good, but it's not like what I thought, And I think I'm always thinking, well, there's more I can learn. I'm not going to post something till I'm better than I am now.
No, you got to get over that.
Yeah.
Because you're a perfectionist. You're trying to make everything
Probably. Yeah.
And nothing will ever be perfect. And you're going to fall on your ass, and things are going to turn out not the way you wanted. And that is just life. Like Michael, right? Like you've lived. I've lived, he's lived. He gave you the same advice.
Absolutely.
Never going to be perfect, honey.
No. And even the top actors, they fluffed lines. You know, they screw up what they're doing, but they recover. They keep going.
We keep
You know,
going.
gag
And,
reels like crazy out there.
yeah. It's just about allowing yourself to be okay through the process. So maybe your homework for this week is just to be easier on yourself. That's it. Just be easier on yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Just be easy on yourself. Things come in, just let it come in, let it flow back out. Don't hold on to anything. Don't like give it too much thought. If you get a self-tape, just don't put so much pressure on yourself. Just let the self-tape and just be like, cool, I got a self-tape. Let me just work on it. What comes to me? What do I want to do with it? Let me figure this out. And let yourself just go through the flow. Because right now, you're trying to figure it all out, and it's not, you cannot have a solution-oriented mind with a problem in your mind. They're on a different wavelength. Your problem's here, your solution's here. But if you're stuck on the problem, you're never going to get to the solution.
No, exactly. When I first met you, I remember I told you I was like, I don't know which part to start with the headshots, with the reel, or with the, and then I was like, maybe I should cut my hair again, or I need to get another headshot because my hair was short in the last one. And you said, why don't you just post whatever you have? Or you said something like, don't worry about the headshot. Like if you have a headshot and it's your hair color is the same, then keep it. And that just was like instantly like, wow, you're right. I'm just stopping myself. Like it's, for me, it's such an all or nothing mentality. Either I have all of it, everything that I need to go forward, or I'm not doing it at all. I'm not even.
You got to give yourself grace.
Yeah. And I get what you're saying. You do want to be prepared. You want to have your materials together, but you also don't want to be sabotaging yourself. You don't want to be in a constant state of sabotage, because if you're in a constant state of sabotage, then you're never going to know what works and what doesn't. And some things are not, you're going to throw a bunch of spaghetti at the wall. Some of it's going to fall on the floor. That's just gravity, So just like, you're so young and you have such a great look. And I'm guessing that you probably have a solid handle on your emotional life, and you're probably a really good actor, and you're probably even a better actor than you even know you are. You just haven't been with somebody that's willing to pull that out of you in a loving, graceful way. But once you tap into that, I guarantee you there's going to be no stopping you. So it's coming. Just keep knowing it's coming.
I'm excited to hear more from you. I just want to
it's coming. Don't worry. You're going to move into another place in your career. I have no doubt. I'm not, it's not even a question. Yeah. Okay. So Iris put her Instagram. Okay. Lilia put hers. Oya, Michael put his. He said, let me know if you need a reader. Now we're 15 minutes past. Any other questions before we jump off? Anybody have any other questions?
I do. I have one question. Well, I might have two. What was the improv classes that you talked about earlier? I didn't catch all of them.
Groundlings is one, the Groundlings.
All right.
Second City. Upright Citizens Brigade, UCB. Really fun improv classes. Improv classes are a really good way to just get you thinking quickly. I personally took many years of Groundlings, which I absolutely love, but they're all very good.
Okay, and my next question is for you, because I'm also going back to college. And how do you feel about doing acting as a minor, like getting I
think it's fantastic.
Okay, got you. And those are my only questions.
Like drama and theater in your minor is amazing, of course, especially if it's something that you want to pursue.
Mhm. Okay,
know?
got you.
Yeah.
I just have spoke to different people about it, and some people are like, well, I don't really feel like it's worth it. And then, well, maybe, but I just want to see what was your opinion
You
on
can
it.
ask other people's opinion, but what do you want to do?
I want to go back to school for acting
Of course.
because that's what I really wanted to do after I came out of high school, but I ended up wanting to nursing, and then I was like, I don't like nursing. I should just went what
But
I'm
to have
passionate
a
about.
nursing, I mean, I have a couple students right now who are nurses and they're in
Mhm.
my class, and it's good to have that. It's good to have
Mhm.
that degree. You make a good living
Yeah.
as a nurse, and you get a couple of years behind your belt as a nurse, and then you can make your own schedule, and you could, you know what I mean? Have a
Yeah.
good thing that you're making for yourself. So they're both really good. But I already told you, Cassania, you have such a great look, and like, come on. You have a great look. You're not, the typical actor look. So you are like, you need to get in there.
I know. And I just like I'm from Savannah, so we have a school here called SCAD. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. And it's like a very big like arts thing. And we also have a lot of like films and TV shows
Bro,
that
you've
come
got
to Savannah
Atlanta.
to film.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Atlanta, 4 hours away. But
Okay.
sometimes I just get so I just don't know where to start. And I feel like I gained a lot of knowledge tonight. And like all of the questions that I wrote down, you literally answered all of them before you even got to the questions part. So I was like, I
Nice.
came
Great
in here
minds
for
think alike.
exactly what I got. Yeah.
So, just know that once you get, you feel like you're solid as an actor, like you've got some training, and then you get your materials together, I would submit to agents in Atlanta for sure.
Got you. And I already get them to my email. Like I sign up for everything, so everything comes to my email. So I get the emails when like the casting calls pops up. I just have to get like basically my material, like my headshots and everything, which I was thinking about. Like earlier you were saying like get your professional headshots, but I was kind of looking towards like trying to do my own headshots because I am into photography a little bit. I do have a professional camera, so I was thinking about doing them
Yeah,
myself.
but you can't do your own pictures.
Yeah, so I thought about that as well. So
You can't do your own pictures.
Yeah.
Can you?
No.
No. So you're just gonna have to, get other people to take your photos. I'm just putting some links in here right now. I have, where is it? I have I have a couple online classes. So I just wanted to put those in the links if you guys wanted to check those out. I'm also going to put my goal coaching in there. If you guys want to check that out. But I have a basics of the actor online class that I'm starting. I think it's June, I can't remember. And then I have my ongoing online acting class for people that have already been studying, but the basics is more for people that are beginning and they really want to get the basics of everything. And we do scene work and we do monologues, and I talk about the business of acting a lot. We go into a lot of technical aspects of acting. I help you build a solid technique. I also want to give you guys, I'm going to email it out to you guys because I don't think I have the link right now. The breaking down of material PDF. I'll give that to you guys. It's just a PDF that I created that can help you break down your material when you get auditions and stuff. It's really good. Gives you a step-by-step that you can kind of utilize and see how it works for you. But I'm here, man. I am so here for you guys, for anything that you need. Just keep in touch with me. And so that I know that you guys are doing good, and let me know how you guys are doing. And if you guys have any other questions, I know it's not easy out there, but you got to really just keep motivated. And as long as you are doing something for your career every week, something, read some books, go on my Instagram. I've posted tons of acting books. I think I have a highlights with the books. Go and read some acting books. There's a lot of really good material out there. you know, go online, listen to some of my YouTubes. I've got interviews I did on casting networks. I did an interview with Backstage. I've done a couple classes, you know, just start building some knowledge for yourself until you can do the things that you really want to do. But you have access. You just take your time, don't overwhelm yourself, and know that if you focus on the work, if you have the technical skills, if you don't, then you need to get trained. If you have your technical skills and you focus on the work, if the work is present, that self-consciousness and the nervousness and the insecurities will start to fall away, because you're going to be really knowing what you're doing and how to keep yourself focused. Anybody else have any other questions before we sign off? Kareem, are you all good? Are you good? Did I kind of help you with what you got going on? And Cindy, I know you were just listening in, so that's good. And Olya, I hope you're still awake. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I love seeing everybody's face. I hope to see you guys again soon, and just keep in touch, okay? And take
Thank you
care,
very
and
much.
I will see
so much.
everybody really
Everybody.
soon. I'll send out the recording so you can have it. So if you want to grab anything that you forgot, okay?
Thank
Go
you.
enjoy your dinner and have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Raquel.